Info Plus for genuine information.
Namaste and Shalom to all the viewers. Welcome to our special interview segment with me, Rebecca Chetri. Today, we are honored to have with us today His Excellency Mr. Hanan Goder, the Ambassador of Israel to Nepal. This is a unique opportunity to delve into the vibrant and multifaceted relationship between Israel and Nepal. So without further ado, let us welcome His Excellency Mr. Hanan Goder. Ambassador Hanan Goder is the 20th Ambassador of Israel to Nepal, currently serving his second term in the country. With a diverse diplomatic background, Ambassador Goder has previously held positions including Israel, Ambassador to South Sudan, member of the Intergovernmental Committee for Students in Agriculture, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Coordinator for Municipal International Relations, and Israel Ambassador to Ethiopia. Goder completed his diplomatic trainings by Israeli Ministries of Foreign Affairs. He holds a bachelor degree in biology studies and geographic studies from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. He is proficient in Hebrew, English, Arabic, Norwegian, and Tigringia. Goder has a passion for nature, exploring new and diverse destinations and getting to know people and cultures. He has strong affinity for mountain and lush landscapes. Goder is married to Dr. May Goder. Together, they have two daughters and resides in modern Israel. The diplomatic relations between the two nations were established on 1st June 1960, making Nepal the first South Asian country to have diplomatic ties with Israel. In the following year, that is in March 1961, the State of Israel opened its embassy in Kathmandu. Since then, both the countries have been enjoying deep friendship, which is being demonstrated by many high-level visits and undertaking of numerous mutually benefiting cooperation. The bilateral relationship over this time has mirrored remarkable changes. The State of Israel has been sharing its expertise learned in the course of its development through MASAV, Israel Agency for International Development Cooperation, in the fields of agriculture, education, science, technology, entrepreneurship, water resources, and many more.
Info Plus for genuine information.
Your Excellency, Namaste and Shalom. Welcome to the show Info Plus Himalayan Television.
Shalom and Namaste.
It's your second term as an ambassador to Nepal, and being as 28th ambassador to Nepal, you have closely understood Nepal and the Nepali people, and also Nepal as a country. My question is, what are the priorities between Israel and Nepal that you would like to take it forward in coming days?
Thank you very much. Yes, we have relations between Nepal and Israel for the last 64 years, since the historic visit of BP Koirala in Israel, the relations were established. And I think in these 6 decades, a lot of cooperation has happened, and a lot of things are happening between the two countries. And I think the priorities are very, very important. You talk about two countries, two nations that are happily cooperating between one and the second. And the cooperation is going on different levels, whether it is agriculture, whether it is employment, whether it is the education sector, whether it is on the high-tech, whether it is on security, whether it is on political, whether it is visits, and so on and so on. And I think this cooperation is good for both countries. And I will tell you, in many times I ask myself, why is this cooperation so fruitful? Nepal and Israel are small countries. We are small countries. And when you are a small country and you have big elephants on your right hand and on your left hand, we have to be careful. We have to look up. The elephants are not necessarily hostile, but sometimes they are careless. And when you are a little goat between two elephants, we have to take care. And this is something that is common to Nepal and to Israel. You have your elephants, we have our elephants, and this is why immediately when Nepalis and Israelis are talking, we understand each other.
You have been to different parts of Nepal, and as we know, you love hiking a lot. You have touched the soil of different parts of a country, Nepal. And you have also read the faces of common people of Nepal. What is your impression towards Nepali people, Your Excellency?
The impression is amazing. I will tell you, because people, when you are in the middle of the situation, you don't look around. But as a guest, as a foreigner, I have this advantage to meet people in different sectors. And it is amazing. Kathmandu is amazing, and it has richness. But Kathmandu is not everything in Nepal. And when you go to the villages, and when you go to the districts, and when you visit the provinces, you meet the real Nepal. You meet a lot of people that are outside the bubble of Kathmandu. And there is some understanding of the softness, of the kind heart of the people. So I think this is very, very interesting for somebody to come and to visit and to have the opportunity to meet the people and to get the hospitality. There is one sentence in Nepali language that says, the guest is almost like a god. Atiti, you will continue. Atiti?
Atiti Devo Bhava.
Exactly. And I feel the warm hospitality in any place that I go, and I really enjoy it. So I must admit, I have not been to all places. People think that but in my dreams, I see myself sometimes reaching the top of the Everest. Don't worry, I will not reach the top of the Everest, not this time. But we have close links. I don't know if you're aware, but at the head of the park in Namche, we have 9 square meters, Israeli. And we exchange these 9 square meters because Nepal has 9 square meters in Israel. The Everest is the highest place in the world, and the Dead Sea is the lowest place in the world. Yes. So last time what we did, we exchanged rocks from the Dead Sea, okay, and we put in Everest. Oh. And we took rocks from the Dead Sea and we put from the Everest and we put in the Dead Sea. So this is a great symbol of the highest and the lowest, and although we are very remote geographically and you know, the highest and lowest, still the bond is very, very strong.
How many places have you been able to visit here in Nepal till now during your tenure, and what are the richness you found here in Nepal?
I will tell you, definitely not enough.
Okay.
Not enough. I've been to many places because we have good connections, especially in the rural sector, with the farmers. So I visited different farmers all over the country to see the farms and to have the impression of what is going on there. I did a few treks, and you are the luckiest people in the world because you have the richest scenes, the richest views that really exist here in Nepal. And I recommend to Nepalis, before you go and dream about different places, go and visit next door. And if somebody is too complicated to reach the top of the Everest, believe me, even around Kathmandu, go to Lalitpur, go to Gosaikunda, go to Shivapur. There are enough places to explore in the country. And I'm sure many people, by the way, many people are doing it. More and more Nepalis are interested in what they have in the country. And I wish that you will continue with it.
Within 6 decades, years plus of diplomatic relationship between Israel and Nepal, Israel and Nepal shares a very good, cordial, friendly and very understanding diplomatic pace till now. What have innovations to make this mutual relationship into prosperity and development in Nepal?
I ask myself this question a lot of times, and I try to analyze. It's not only that we are two small countries. We are too small and too proud nations.
Exactly.
And when we look at the mirror in the morning, Nepali people, Israeli people, we say maybe we are not the most beautiful, but we are proud of what we are and of who we are. Nepalis are proud for the language, for the culture, for the religion, for the music, for the films, for the people, for the food, for different aspects of what we are. And it is the same about Israelis. We don't want to be different. We are small and proud. And this is the reason why immediately Nepalis and Israelis, when we have this dialogue, we understand, okay, this is what we are, and we are happy of what we are, and we don't want to be anything else.
What do you think are the major challenges that Israel and Nepal are facing to make the relations more better in coming days? And what do you think we should work together to overcome that?
You have different challenges in Nepal, I must agree. We have our challenges with our neighbors in Israel, and as I mentioned, we must find a way to solve it, and we are ready to solve it. The challenges in Nepal are different. Our only advice to you is to look inside. Don't blame outside. Look inside. Look into yourself. How can we be better? How can we make the change? Now, as you understand, I was here before. I was here earlier, 10 years ago. And I see the changes. I see a lot of changes in the country. Nepal is a country, is a society in a transition.
Is that the good changes? Or
the changes happen whether we like them or not. I will mention the good changes. Not all of them are good, but I will mention the good changes. I'll give you an example. Not that anything is new for you. Life expectancy. Are you aware that in 10 years, life expectancy in Nepal increased from 67 to 71? Which means that the average life expectancy of Nepalis was 67, and in 10 years is now 71. And if you will check it in 2 or 3 years, it will be 72. And if you will check it in 5 years, it will be 73. You are in a change. So the health sector is under dramatic change here. Education sector. Are you aware that 10 years ago, 1/3 of the population here were illiterate? The percentage now is less than 20%. And if you check the young children who attend classes, 99.9% of the children go to school. Are you aware that 20 years ago, the SLC, what we call the SEE,
yes,
was like an iron gate? Are you aware that the colleges and the universities are flourishing? Are you aware that 50% of the students in the universities are women?
That's true.
50% of the students in the universities are women. This is a dramatic change in the country, in the society. And again, you know all these figures, you know all these numbers, nothing is new. But when you take all these things and you put them together, you will see the change. But let me show you a colorful thing that is changed. Look at the money. Oh. It's clean.
Yes.
You don't remember that 10 years ago, and this is the face of the country. So whether you look at the money, whether you look at the streets of Kathmandu, let me give the compliment to whoever is responsible on that. The streets are clean. Of course, you can always improve and always make it better. But the changes are happening. So all these things are things that you see the changes, and I wish Nepal to continue.
Our Nepali citizen, Bipin Joshi, has been hosted by Hamas. So what are the possibilities for him to bring him back here in our country as early as possible?
We don't see any reason to keep Bipin as a hostage. We don't see any reason to keep the other hostages as hostages. Some of them are babies. There is one baby that is 1 year old. Some of them are old people, above 80 years old. Who is taking civilians? Some women that were taken were raped. Who is conducting such activities? We should all unite against these actions of terror, and we should all do our best. Now, we are negotiating, and we'll come to a deal. And if there will be no deal, we will continue to search. And I said it, and I will say it always, again and again. There will be a continuous search to find the hostages, to find Bipin Joshi, even if you have to check one after one building in Gaza Strip. People tell us, okay, but why there is no ceasefire? There was ceasefire. Until the 7th of October, there was ceasefire. We were out of Gaza. We pulled out. The problem is that Hamas is like a snake. And the moment you make a ceasefire with a snake, you don't know what will happen, because after 10 seconds or 10 minutes, it can bite you again. And this is why Israel cannot tolerate to stay with Hamas, because it is declaring that they will take more and more terror and violence. We will do anything to bring Bipin back.
Nepal is always with Israel and has shown solidarity against any kind of war, violence, and violation of human rights. What's your appeal to the people of this country relating recent activities which happened in Israel?
Nepal is a democracy. Nepal, I should say, is a flourishing democracy. No democracy is perfect. Not in Israel, not in Nepal, not in Europe, not in America, nothing is. But Nepali people are free. And as a free nation, you have to analyze what is going on. The Nepali anthem starts with one sentence. And with your permission, you will say the first sentence in the Nepali anthem. Saya, can you say the Nepali anthem? Saya kun, kahun?
Saya Dunga,
We are 100 flowers that are going together. We translated the Nepali anthem to Hebrew. And we are proud of it. And we respect each other. And this combination in Nepal is making the bond to Israel so strong. It's a democracy, and it is a democracy that is tolerating the other. And this is why Nepal understands the challenges of Israel, the challenges that we have of surviving. Nepal is going with Israel for decades because you understand our challenges. Israel is facing problems by radicals, by radical Islamists. And what happened in the last 9 months of escalation of a war against Hamas is clear to many people here. On a certain day, on a certain morning, Hamas terrorists entered Israel and slaughtered and murdered women, babies, old people, kidnapping civilians. Nepalis that were in Israel for Learn and Earn program were murdered. 10 Nepalis are lost. Until today, one Nepali, Bipin Joshi, is held by Hamas, and we are waiting for his release. We have 120 hostages like Bipin Joshi, and the state of Israel will do anything to bring all these 120 hostages, including Bipin Joshi. And if we will have to search, we will continue the search in Gaza, one house after one house, until we manage to bring all of them back home. The Nepali people that went to Israel came to Israel as our guests. But these families that lost their precious, their loved ones, became our family. And families are never forgotten. And this is a strong bond that is continuing to be between Nepal and Israel.
Nepali people and the country Nepal always stands for peace, prosperity and development of the nation. But what's happening in different parts of the world? Where does Israel stand on this regard, and what's your priority on this, Your Excellency?
We appreciate the Nepali position. And I think this is not a theoretical position, because Nepal is involved in peace missions all over the world. I think Nepal now is #1 in contribution to peace efforts and peace missions all over the world. Nepal is involved in 2 fronts in the borders, on the borders of Israel, in Golan and in Unifil, in Undorf and in Unifil, 2 forces. And we appreciate the Nepali involvement to send young people, young soldiers that are there to prevent escalation. But again, sometimes it is not even in your hand, because when you are talking about these terrorists, it's when somebody would like to take an act of terror, it's very, very difficult to prevent it. But again, you are part of the free world, you are part of the democratic world, you are part of the world that appreciates tolerance, open democracies. And this is why we are so happy that you are there, and we appreciate your position.
Israel is known for the invention of agriculture sectors as a source of revenue, which has been contributing a lot in the national GDP. How do you think Nepal can learn from Israel in that regard, and how can Nepal take the benefits of the experience, as Nepal is also an agriculture country?
The most important is the concept. And those that visit Israel and those that come to see Israel understand the concept. And the concept is very simple. Agriculture is not a hobby. Agriculture is a business, it is a profession, and it is a way of life. Mm-hmm. And this is when the Nepalis go to Israel, they are exposed for this. Israel is a small country. Dere Dere Sanodesh. I don't know if you're aware, but Israel is the size of one province of Nepal.
It's a beautiful country, isn't it?
And very shortage of land, of water, of anything. But if you compare Israel and Nepal, you will see that in Nepal, 60% are farmers, maybe 65%. In Israel, the percentage is 2%. And the 2% farmers produce food for the entire population, and we export it out. So how does it happen? There is no mystery, there is no secret, there are no miracles. It is only hard work and investment. And this is the message that we are trying to give to the Nepali farmers and to the officials. You can't remain with the traditional methods of your grandfather. If you stay with the traditional methods of your grandfather, you are stuck behind. Your neighbors are smart. Mm-hmm. Your neighbors are progressing. Your neighbors are investing. And this is why you have to catch up all the time. And this is the message that we bring to people in Nepal. If you invest 10 rupees, you will be able to collect 50 rupees. But you have to invest the 10 rupees. Otherwise, you are stuck.
What do you think Nepal is lacking on the agriculture sector?
I told about the concept, and I told about the investment, and I must emphasize the modern agriculture. If people in Nepal will think that you can move the country forward with using traditional methods, you will not get anywhere. In order to move forward, you have to do modern system. And one of the examples that we are using in Israel is this thing, Yokeo, your pipe hole.
Yeah.
This is not a cigar, this is a pipe, this is a plastic pipe. And if you look closely at the pipe, you can see that it has holes.
Yes.
Now you ask yourself, how come the Israeli farmer is using pipes with holes? If you look inside, you will see the drip. And this is the drip irrigation system. The drip irrigation system, the farmer will put it on the land and he will plant the tree or the vegetable along the pipes, along the little holes. And the water will go to the pipe, to the plant itself. And this is how the farmer is giving the water directly to the plant. Now, many Nepalis answer to me, oh, Ambassador, you are in Israel, you have shortage of water. We in Nepal, we have plenty of water. No, you don't have plenty of water, and more than the water, the Nepali farmer is not giving the fertilizer. The Israeli farmer is giving the fertilizer with the water to the plant. How does the Nepali farmer give the fertilizer? Like this. They get the fertilizer and they spread it all over the area, which is a big waste. It's expensive. There is shortage of fertilizer. And this system allows the Israeli farmer to give the fertilizer directly to the plant. And this is why Nepalis can increase double and 4 times double the production from the same bush of cucumber, from the same bush of tomatoes. You can increase the production 4 times. People tell me, Ambassador, this is good for Israel. We are in Nepal. It doesn't work here. It does. All these workers that went to Israel are using these methods. It's here in Nepal already in the shops. No, Ambassador, this is too expensive. We have to import it. No. This pipe is made in Nepal. Shall I say it again? It is made in Nepal, Nepali product. Yes, the idea, the technology is coming from Israel. But if you will go to Bharatpur, to Chitwan, you will see that there is a Nepali factory. So all these methods are spreading, are becoming greenhouses, irrigation, fertilizers. All these methods are becoming more and more frequent, and more people are using modern agriculture. And the challenge is how to increase it, how to encourage it, how to make more farmers use these modern technologies.
Israel is also known for its advancement in technology and innovation. How is this expertise being shared in Nepal so far?
Thank you. Israel is really leading in the issue of technology, of cyber technology, on software development. And it's a major income, by the way, in Israel.
Okay.
Big parts of our export are not products, but knowledge, know-how, softwares. You have wonderful youth here in Nepal. Very qualified, very talented, educated here in Nepal. Mm-hmm. Israeli companies have opened offices here in Kathmandu already, and hired hundreds of Nepalis that are working for international companies and are getting international salaries. And they don't have to travel, they don't have to leave the family, they don't have to change the culture. They are here in Kathmandu. Again, you would like to get the link, you will get the link, and you will meet these wonderful young Nepalis that are working in international companies.
We would love to. One day.
You are most welcome. And they are doing it. So Israel is only the bridge to link between these young, talented people, hardworking people, and they are doing the work all over the world, to companies all over the world. This is outsourcing of your knowledge with very, very, how should I say, high income for these young people. One of the big challenges that you have here is, and I'm sure that you are aware that 1,000 or even more people leave the country every day. 500,000 in a year. 1 million in 2 years left the country.
Large number of Nepali youths are being migrating abroad either for education and work. And would you like to share some insights in terms of letting our youths that even Israel has a good stand of education, and even the youth of Nepal should go to Israel for the further education?
We have different programs, the academic programs. We have a special program that is called Learn and Earn, where thousands of Nepalis went to Israel for a 1-year training. They go, they work in on-the-job training in an Israeli farm, 5 days a week, and earn Israeli salaries. They spend 1 day per week in the college, supervised by professors there, and they have to submit papers and to do the paperwork. And they come back with the knowledge, with a lot of knowledge. The Israeli system is not brain drain, is not to take the smart people and to keep them with us. This is not helping the country, and maybe it is helping the individual. The idea is to bring these people, to give them the upgrading or the exposure of the Israeli experience, and to make sure that they go back. And this is the reason why we see so many of them flourish all over the country with very, very good experience. The same thing is happening also with the caregiver sector. Thousands of Nepalis are in Israel. We are sending at the moment, even at the moment, thousands are applying to DOFE, to the Department of Foreign Employment, to go to the next group of people that will go to be caregivers. And again, this is not a brain drain program, because people are going to Israel for a limited period of time, and then they come back and they share the knowledge that they have gained in Israel.
Your Excellency, what educational exchanges and scholarship opportunities exist between Israel and Nepal?
We have different programs. We have a few academical institutions, universities and colleges in Israel that are taking international students. Nepalis apply. We have a scholarship program that is called Mashav, the Israeli Agency for Aid for International Cooperation. And we are sending many people for scholarships, again, on different sectors, different levels. Again, 3,000 Nepalis went to Israel for these short courses. And again, it is not brain drain.
Okay.
It is people that go and upgrade themselves and come back and use these opportunities and are doing these important tasks that are here. And we are happy and glad to cooperate it. Sometimes we bring the experts here and have the workshops in Nepal. But all these scholarships are very suitable for Nepalese. English is the main language that it is conducted. And I think that many people are really enjoying it. And we will continue.
At present also we can see many youths are interested to go further education in Israel. And also since we have a very long-term bond between two countries. But we can also realize that they are also concerned about the safety, isn't it, Your Excellency? What would you like to say on this regards?
Israel is situated is like a volcano. And normally when you visit Israel and you see day-to-day life, you don't see any problem and more than that. Yes, there is a possibility of terror attacks, and we are doing our best to prevent it. There was a failure on the 7th of October, yes, from our side, and we lost 1,300 people during that attack, including the 10 Nepali students that I mentioned earlier. But I think that although there are thousands of Nepalis that are working in Israel, they did not go back. They preferred to stay. They feel safe. They are with families. They are part of the society. And we are very proud of them. They are very proud of us that they all remain. And then the same thing you see that people go to Israel and enjoy the stay in Israel. You have to understand one thing. When a Nepali goes to Israel for work, the conditions, the legislation are the same like the Israelis. There is no discrimination between the Israelis and the Nepalis. The same salaries, the same health insurance, the same medical treatment, the same vacation days, and if God forbid something is happening, the same national insurance that is supporting the families forever. And by the way, all these victims or all these people that were wounded are supported by the government of Israel for the rest. The families are supported for the rest of their life.
What initiatives or projects are currently in place to promote sustainable practices and environmental conservation in both the countries?
You know that planting the trees is very sustainable. The question is whether you start a project and it will not remain. So making something that does not remain or does not hold or needs a constant investment is something that is not durable. In Israel, we have started an issue of desalination. We have an ocean. And since we have big shortage of water, we realized that we build like a factory for water. Here in Nepal, you don't have this problem. You don't have to try to produce more water because you have these enough sources of water. But the same thing that we are doing in Israel can happen here. And I think I'm here during my tenure that the Melamchi Tunnel started bringing water to Kathmandu, which is a great help. Many people, many of my friends told me, listen, I have running water at home. And they are happy with it. Now, is it enough? No. It's not enough, because what to do? the population has grown. The population in Israel increased. The population in Nepal is now 30 million people, 3 crore. Nepal used to be only 1 crore. So now you have suddenly Kathmandu, which grew out of nothing, or not half, you can't say nothing, it was 500,000, and now in Kathmandu Valley you have 5 million. It's a metropolis. It's something very, very complicated, and you have to give clean environment, reasonable standards of living, fresh water, and to the population. And I'm sure that we will continue on these issues together.
How is Israel and Nepal collaborating the challenges posed by climate change?
I don't know if you're aware of the statistics, but during the last 100 years, temperature have increased in 1 or 2 degrees, and this is terrible. It's terrible here in Himalayas, and it is terrible in Israel because rainfall is unexpected, and this is terrible things that happened so far and probably can happen again. I think Israel and Nepal are 2 examples of countries that do a lot to plant more trees, to increase the areas of habitation of nature. So this preservation is very, very important. And again, we will encourage any initiative, any project, any idea that is helping the environment. There are different NGOs here, but also the government sector that is very active on that. And we are in touch, especially with the Ministry of Environment, here on such projects. But I'm sure that we will continue, and I'm sure that in the future we will see more and more projects coming to prevent it. I know that people that visited the mountains 20 years ago, 40 years ago, say that the amount of ice is shrinking dramatically. It's almost 20 or 30% less than it used to be in the past. It's terrible. But not only that, the rainfall. Instead of having normal seasons of rain, we have huge showers, huge floods. I think you could see it also 2 years ago in Sindupalchok, what happened in Melamchi. But in other places, you see it more and more. And not only in Nepal, not only in Israel, these things happen. So we have to be aware, and we have to talk about it, and we have to mention it. And I'm sure that we will continue this cooperation.
Your Excellency, what message would you like to convey to the people of Nepal about Israel and its people?
You have good friends in Israel. And when you have friendship is checked and measured during the days of difficult days. I remember, because I was involved very much in the assistance after the earthquake, where huge aeroplanes, Israeli aeroplanes, landed here in Kathmandu. We established a field hospital here in Chauni with 300 doctors and medical teams that opened the field hospital. So this was an amazing days of cooperation. I know that when there is need for Nepalis to help Israel and to support Israel, whenever there are problems, Nepal is always the first one to come and to help. And I'm sure that this will continue. And I'm looking forward for the continuation of that.
Thank you so much for your time and insight, Your Excellency. Namaste and Shalom.
I have the opportunity to give you a small gift. And this gift is a very small gift. I don't know if you can catch it in the camera. But this is a stamp that we issued.
Okay.
At the same day, we issued this stamp that shows the upper half is the Everest, and the lower half, which is the Dead Sea. The highest and the lowest. 8848 minus 422. So this is a token of friendship of the Nepali flag and the Israeli flag together. And by the way, Nepal had also issued the same stamp at the same day. So this is something that is really a lovely bond between the countries.
Thank you so much. Thank you, it's beautiful.
Info Plus, for genuine information.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency Mr. Hanan Goder, for sharing your valuable insights with us today. It has been an enlightening discussion shedding light on the strong and evolving relationship between Israel and Nepal. Your vision for the future of Israel-Nepal relation is both inspiring and promising, highlighting the potential for further cooperation and mutual growth. Thank you once again, Your Excellency, and for your dedication to enhancing the friendship between two nations. We look forward to seeing the continued positive developments in Israel to Nepal relations in the coming years. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us in this special interview. Stay tuned for more insightful conversation on Info Plus, only on Himalaya Television. Keep watching and namaste.
Info Plus, for genuine information.